Hello, I am Mario Leccese and I'm a PhD candidate in economics at the University of Maryland. Today I'm going to talk about this paper titled How Do Top Acquirers Comparing Technology Mergers? New Evidence from an S&P Taxonomy. This is joint work with Ginger Gene at the University of Maryland and Liat Bagman at the Illinois Institute of Technology. Several concerns have been raised by antitrust authorities regarding the potential anti-competitive effect of startup acquisition by large incumbent. Cunningham, Eder, and Ma focus on the potential anti-competitive effects in terms of future market competition. In fact, they argue that large incumbents may acquire startups with the only goal of shutting them down and prevent competition in their core business area. On the other hand, Campali, Rajan, and Zingales focused on the potential anti-competitive effects in terms of future innovation. They argue that in setting with network externalities and switching cost, incumbents acquisition of startup may effectively create a kill zone around the core business area of the acquirers and eventually harm future innovation in that space. At the same time, there are also possible pro-competitive theories. For example, Rasmussen 1988 argues that if entrepreneurs regard being acquired by large incumbent as a successful exit strategy, then the fact that incumbents tend to acquire many startups can stimulate innovation in that business area. Recently, Proud and Bauer, in their empirical work, find evidence consistent with this entry for buyout theory. Another example of pro-competitive effect can be found in Gautier Lamesque 2020. They analyze 175 acquisitions by large digital platform and find that they acquire startup to substitute for in-house R&D. While at least some of these theories are not specific to large digital platforms acquisition of technology venture, most of the recent policy debate has focused on technology acquisition by large digital platform, and in particular by Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft, so GAFAM. It has been argued that GAFAM firms are unique in the number, pace, and concentration of their technology M&As, and also that they have a unique dynamic pattern of technology acquisition. We try to shed some light on these claims by comparing GAFAM M&A activity with that of other large acquirers of technology venture. In addition, we study the business areas in which GAFAM and other large acquirers tend to complete M&A deals, and study whether GAFAM acquisition as compared to acquisition by other in a particular area are followed by fewer non-GAFAM M&As in that area. Lastly, we also look at whether we observe less competition between acquirers in the areas that involve GAFAM, where competition in this setting is measured by the number of M&A deals in a certain business area. In order to answer all these questions, we use a unique data set operated by Standard & Poor's Global Market Intelligence. In this data set, each observation is a completed M&A deal with a change in majority control. Our sample runs from 2010 to 2020, and it's global with respect to its geographic coverage. In our data set, we have almost 42,000 M&A deals involving more than 15,000 unique acquirers. All targets are technology targets, while acquirers can be either tech companies or non-tech companies. What is unique of this data set is its taxonomy of the technology space. In particular, each company is assigned to a specific business area, which is the combination of broader areas and narrower areas. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Notice that not all level 2s have a level 3 and so on. So in this project, we focus on level 1 and level 2. So level 1 identifies broader areas, and within each level 1, there are several level 2s. The combination of level 1s and level 2s in this project is going to identify the narrower business area to which a company can be assigned. In this table, we summarize the group of top acquire we compare GAFAM with. In particular, we use Forbes to define a list of the top 25 technology companies, and Private Equity International to define a list of the top 25 private equity firms. Finally, we use the number of acquisition in our data set to construct the last group of large acquirers. This is actually this includes the 25 firms with the highest number of acquisition in our data set that are not included in any of the other three groups, namely GAFAM, top 25 tech, top 25 PE. So the main finding of this paper. First, we look at the absolute number of acquisition and find that GAFAM only accounts for a small percentage of the total number of acquisition that are completed in the technology sector. However, when we look on a per firm basis, each GAFAM firm has a higher number of tech acquisition. But if we look at the trend over time, we find that top 25 private equity firms have outpaced GAFAM after 2018. Moreover, we find that GAFAM tends to acquire younger targets and more B2 and higher share of B2C targets. When we look across the whole sample, so from 2010 to 2020, we don't find any significant difference between the share of data-intensive target acquired by GAFAM as compared to that of other group of top acquirers. However, when we look at the trend over time, we find that after 2018, GAFAM has significantly increased the number of data-intensive, the share of data-intensive target it acquires. We also look at the extent to which GAFAM tend to spread its acquisition across S&P category as compared to other top acquirers. And we find that GAFAM deals are less concentrated. This can be interesting from an antitrust perspective because widespread acquisition may signal a desire to expand beyond their core business area. And this in turn may be welfare enhancing if this acquisition represent GAFAM entries into new areas of competition, but can also be anti-competitive if, as argued in the killer acquisition, in the Killzone paper, they end up dissuading other entrants. Then we also look at whether GAFAM and other acquire, but also whether GAFAM firm tend to acquire in the same technology category. And we find that there is an increase in the extent to which the technology category in which these large acquirers acquire overlap. This may signal an increased competition in these business areas over time. Lastly, we use a difference in different design to study whether GAFAM acquisition in certain categories reduces entry via M&A of other acquirers. using this difference in different design, we find no evidence that GAFAM acquisition slow down new acquire entry, and this can in some sense inform antitrust authorities, which may be concerned about the effect of GAFAM acquisition of incentive to enter into new categories of other firms. You can find obviously more detail in the paper.